Web and cyber attacks is scary enough on their own, but imagine getting an email or an instant message from a loved one you know has already passed away. Well, Sandra Gao from the Better Business Bureau joins us now with this tale of caution about cloning, and it's specifically profile cloning.
Profile cloning. Yeah, I mean, we've probably seen a little bit of it already on Facebook from like people that we already know, friends that we know, saying on an instant messenger, "Hey, I just sent you a friend request. Can you respond back to it?" So we're kind of used to that. But imagine receiving one from a dear loved one that has already went to the great beyond, and you're going, "How can that be?"
Exactly. How is that? What's going on?
It's essentially the same process as somebody cloning somebody else's profile that you already know, but they found a profile that hasn't been active for a while, or the person has already moved on. They just haven't shut down the account, so they're reaching out to the contacts that are already attached to that account. Now there's a secondary way, it's a form of identity theft is really what it is. There's a second form, and it's called ghosting, and a lot of people are going, "Oh, I know what ghosting is, that's what the employment scam is, or when somebody applies for a job, they're hired and they don't show up for work." Yes, that is a form of ghosting. AARP calls ghosting a form of identity theft when they steal the social security number, the name, and the date of birth, and they start opening up credit card accounts and everything else after the person's already deceased. And this has been happening to millions, in fact 2.5 million Americans every single year. John, can you imagine how much in charges and luxury items and everything else they've racked up in that person's name?
Yeah, this kind of reminds me of a digital update to when people would get the Social Security number. They would get the death certificates of babies, and then they would get Social Security numbers for those identities.
Absolutely.
And then, but these are people who live long lives, probably.
Absolutely. And you know where they get the information from? Obituaries.
Oh.
So you think about it, they have the date of birth, the date of death, they have the age, they've got family members, they have maiden names. I mean, all of that information is out there, and these people actually sit and read the obituaries, and that's where they get them from.
And I would think that the last thing that, as somebody who's a relative of someone who's passed away, that's the last thing you're thinking about.
Exactly. There's so much going on. There's so much emotion. There's so much drama, depending on your family, that you're not even thinking about that. So 6 months down the road, when you start getting calls from debt collectors and tax collectors and everything else, estate collections and everything else, you're going, whoa, 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 wait a minute. I've just settled the estate. Everything should be fine. Maybe not. So probably the best thing for you to do, especially if you've just had a recent deceased member of your family, and our condolences go out to you, is to maybe freeze those lines of credit so that way nobody can access them. Make sure you pull a credit report so you know exactly what's open, what's closed, what's going on with those bank accounts, and make sure that the information is protected. If they do have an online account, shut it down. I know it's nice to have those pictures and everything else. See if you can download them, but see if you can shut that online profile account so nobody's cloning that profile and contacting people without your knowledge. Yeah,
if you're executor of an account in particular, you should pay attention to these things.
Absolutely.
All right, Sandra Gao, thank you so much for this. Telling us about ghosting and cloning profiles and the like.